Today's episode is a quickie, but a really important one. It is my answer to a question that I've been asked quite a bit lately, and a question that I've actually been asked quite a bit over the last few years because the world has been so tumultuous. It's rare to wake up in the morning and not see more tough news happening in the world. And the question is, how do I keep on going with my work and my business when things are so painful in the world? How do I keep on showing up for my community and my clients? How do I keep on marketing in these times? These are such valid questions because, with the state of the world, sometimes it feels like the best idea is to just stay in my pajamas, curl up on the couch, and watch Netflix all day with a vat of ice cream as my companion. And truth be told, I, of course, do have my coping strategies when things are stressful. And yes, it does include watching a little bit of TV in the evening because I really do love watching TV. And if you have any suggestions for anything great that's streaming right now, let me know. My coping strategies also include doing the crossword puzzle every day because I am obsessed with a New York Times crossword puzzle. It's really also just a nice place to focus for 20 minutes each day. Distraction sometimes can be a very good thing. But all that being said, even with all the tragedy in the world, all of the heartache, there is a bigger reason why I'm able to keep on going with my work and with my business. And the short answer is this: my work inside of my one-on-one and group containers is my most impactful way to create the change that I so desperately want to see in the world. And therefore, continuing to do my work is a non-negotiable. I am not only deeply moved to show up for my work every day, it feels like a necessary thing. Now, you might ask, how is it that my work is the most impactful way that I can change the world in the way that I want to see it change, especially since I'm just a coach and practitioner trainer, and I'm using just in air quotes. Well, yes, the top layer of the work that I do is teaching the coaching skills and the transformational skills and the somatic techniques and how to work with fear and resistance, how to help clients rewire their thought patterns, how to help clients achieve more of their goals, etc., etc. But if you've ever been in any one of my trainings, you know that when I train practitioners how to do all of these things, the work goes so, so much deeper than learning skills and techniques. The work that we do together challenges everything that we as a people have learned from culture. And what happens in the room when I train, whether it's in person or virtual, is nothing less than complete paradigm shifting. And the extraordinary thing is through the culture work that we do, each practitioner that I train undergoes profound inner shifts and transformation on their own fears, their own beliefs, and their own shadows. For example, when I train coaches, we go deep into the shadow of power and how to change the paradigm of power inside of our client containers so that it's power with instead of power over or power under. When I train coaches, we go deep into how to facilitate groups so that your group programs become a new model of community and culture where each person in the room is loved, respected, honored for who they are, even when there is tension, because tension will come up sometimes in the group, and even when there's difference in identity or opinion. When I train practitioners, we go deep into how to love and have compassion for your clients, even when they are acting out, right? We go deep into how to honor disintegration and disillusion and loss as much as we value creation, how to honor the mystery just as much as we can valorize clarity. When I train practitioners, we go deep into how to reclaim shadow, how to reclaim every part of yourself, even those parts that have been deemed unsavory, like jealousy or laziness and selfishness, so that you can be in charge of those parts of yourself instead of them being in charge of you. When I train practitioners, we go deep into how not to need to be right. We go deep into how to help yourself and clients disengage from oppressive concepts and structures like perfection or production at all cost or hierarchical structures or the myth of arrival and so much more. And all of what I just shared, and this is just the tip of the iceberg of what I teach and what is experienced when people work with me, all of it is inherently political and my greatest form of activism. It's not necessarily political in the sense of this side is right and this side is wrong, though there are obvious correlations when we do the work. But it's very political in the sense of let's use our client work to dismantle the internalized structures of oppression that need to be taken down, and that will ripple out into the world. Let's use our client work to create and experience a more fair and collaborative kind of culture and community, and that will ripple out into the world. Let's use our client work to create more aligned structures around authority and power so that there's less abuse of power, and that will ripple out into the world. Let's use our client work to not be so quick to label anything or anyone good or bad. And instead, let's find core structures that need to change. And that will ripple out into the world. I've long, long said that if you are truly co-creating transformation with your clients, the personal work isn't just personal work. It's culture work, period. Because where do most of our personal wounds ultimately come from? It didn't originally start with our parents or our teachers or bullies in the lunchroom. It actually started way before that, with culture and the oppressive structures and messages of culture seeping into our parents and into our teachers and into those bullies and beyond. For example, if you've got a fear of not being good enough that you learned from your mother in one way or another, whether she modeled that fear of not being good enough for you or whether she criticized you excessively, I can nearly guarantee that a big part of your mother's actions were rooted in ideas of what's good enough and what's not good enough dictated by the culture that she grew up in. Those messages seeped into her, or those messages seeped into her parents or their parents before them, passed down generation to generation. The culture is always part of the personal. You simply cannot transform your fears, beliefs, or shadows in a vacuum. And so, even though all that's happening in the world right now is so painful, and I feel such grief and sometimes fear on a daily basis, I still find the strength to get up every day and do my work and promote my work because of everything that I've shared here today. My client work is my best version of protest. It is my best version of being part of the resistance. And this is one of my best ways of standing up for all that I believe the world can be. My work is my best way of doing my part to make a difference. And so I ask you, what about you? What about your work in the world is about changing the culture? What are the cultural paradigms that your work is aiming to shift? In these tough times, I really invite you, my friend, to drill deeper into that, to remember the bigger change that you're here to contribute to. Let it give you strength and let it give you inspiration. And please, please remember, we are in this together. Thank goodness for that. Hey, if you loved this episode and you love this podcast, would you do me a favor and let your friends know about it? The best way that I have of making impact in the world is when you let your people know. So I would just appreciate it so much. And I would hope that your friends would appreciate it too if you let them know and shared this podcast.